I'm not sure what it is exactly, but there's a base instinct in all of us, well, the ones of us who aren't deeply psychotic anyway, to protect small children, animals, and pregnant women. And when a horror movie chooses to focus on one of those as a victim, it's something that really makes me a little more uncomfortable than I would usually be. And that's the case with the French film Inside. This is a movie that will have you squirming in your seat just a little bit more than you would if you had a really bad hemorrhoid. The story here begins with a car accident involving a man and his wife who's pregnant. Sadly, he doesn't survive the accident, and his wife Sarah is sent to the hospital. Well, as it turns out, she and the baby are fine, and several weeks later, Sarah's told that she's going to give birth on Christmas Day. The doctors have decided to induce labor just to make sure there's no complications because of the accident. Enter a very strange nurse. Now, we know she's weird because she's smoking around the pregnant women. So our pregnant heroine is sent home and arranges a ride for the next day, and despite being Christmas Eve, she really just wants to be alone. Now, alone is the last place she really needs to be because, you see, the strange nurse is now lurking outside her house, and when the police are called, she disappears. But you know she's coming back, right? Yeah, of course you do. You see, she's decided that the baby inside Sarah isn't going to have a good home, and that she's going to take it. And from the giant scissors that she carries around with her, I don't think she's going to wait through any sort of normal adoption procedure. And thus begins about an hour of torment. Sarah is repeatedly attacked, her cat is killed, and several people who have all dropped by to check on her are killed in various rather brutal ways. If you're unfamiliar with the current wave of French horror, let me just say, it's brutal and it's unflinching, and speaking as a horror fan, even I have cringed several times. It's bad enough that we're spending all this time tormenting a pregnant woman, but there's a scene where a cop who's come to rescue Sarah meets a very disturbing end, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this was done, and I'm still trying to get over the shock of it, as I've spent many years making myself immune to horror movies, so when one can get to me, you know there's something there. I'm giving Inside 3.5 out of 4 cigars. It's not perfect. In fact, I felt it was a little bit long. After all, my poor old heart can only take so much unrelenting terror. And that's what this is. Once it begins, there's really no stopping it. So until next time, when I'll be keeping my eye on all you pregnant women out there, remember that just because the budget is low doesn't make the movie bad.
Yes,